Hi guys, welcome back to the new episode of our talk show From Passion to Legacy, where we talk about immigrants who moved to Canada, had the passion, idea, business idea, dream, and they brought it to life despite the hassles that the immigration always imposed. And today I have a special guest. I know him for like a couple of years now. Raphaël Meurine. He is the owner of a Latin dance company and also professional dancer. Hi Raphaël, thank you very much for coming on this cloudy, rainy Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Thank you. So salsa, bachata, actually those dances are my favorite social dances. I love them the most. But let's, before we hop into the whole thing about how did you evolve in the dance environment, let's go back to where it all started. What were your age when you immigrated? How, when, why?
So actually, I come from New Caledonia, a little island next to Australia, little French island next to Australia.
Oh wow, that's far.
Yeah, that's really far, really far. And I came in Canada in August 2015.
We were like 3 months apart from...
Yeah?
Yeah, I came also in 2015.
Yeah, so it was a year of immigrant.
Exactly.
So, you know, we decided to move we decided because I was moving with my ex-girlfriend. So I decided to come to Canada because her parents decided for her to go study in Canada, and she asked me like, okay, so now I'm gonna move in Canada in 3 months, so what do you want to do? Like, we broke up right now or we move together? And I was like, okay, I don't want to break up, so I guess I move. So no, but to be honest, like it was a good thing for me because New Caledonia, it's really small, and at one point like you make around super fast, and you just feel like, okay, I want to see the world. So August 2015 we came in Canada, and this is how I arrived. The process before that was a bit long, like for immigration, especially when you are really far. Like it took like a year to get like an answer.
Were you moving under provincial? So you moved right away in
right
Quebec,
away.
and you were moving under provincial program. What was the
No,
program?
it was like a student program.
Ah, okay, studies. Yeah. Okay.
Because I was restarting my studies too, so we came back. I started with a marketing baccalaureate, but like after a year, they told me like it's not for you, so find something else. I was like, okay, something without mathematics maybe. So they find me like a baccalaureate in animation. It's more like an event baccalaureate.
Event, okay.
So I was like, yeah, maybe that's more for me. So we went for that, and I get my baccalaureate like 2 years after.
So you got them already here in Canada when you moved?
Yeah, exactly.
And when you were coming, what was it kind of the plan outlined already, but it was more like an adventure? I'm gonna go and then I'll figure it out.
I would say it was more like an adventure because even in New Caledonia, when I decided to move, I decided to restart my studies and find like a desk job, like something like super formal, like from 9 to 5, and like I get my weekend and I get my holidays, etc., etc. But and even like for the dance, like in New Caledonia, I was dancing a bit, but like I decided to stop just because like I realized like it was too hard to make money in dance. And when I came to Canada, like I get like different options. But like at the beginning, it was just like come to see Canada and just go like enjoy and see like what is the new world, you know.
You started dancing at which age? How old were you?
I started at 12, and now I'm like 33,
so
almost 34 now. But like I started in New Caledonia.
20 years of dancing.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
start to be a lot.
That's really like a long journey.
Yeah.
And so we kind of had a bit of a chat before. It had nothing to do before with salsa or any Latin dances. It was completely different styles. Which styles did you do?
It was like I started with breakdance first.
Oh.
So breakdance really on the floor, but I was dancing hip hop, but just debout, like they call it. So without going on the floor. But like I said, most of the hip hop, I did a bit of rock and roll, Lindy Up. It was like my first.
I don't even know the style.
It's like a swing dance, you know.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Like West Coast swing now, but like it's another style of swing. And that was my first experience, like dancing with a girl, and I was like, oh my god, oh shit, oh my god. So yeah, it was so stressful. But I did like many kind of dance because in New Caledonia, I get one friend who was a super good choreographer. And she gets so many contracts, but like for a different kind of dance. Sometimes like we had to dance and play with fire. Sometimes we have to do like a Russian dance. Sometimes we have to do like salsa, bachata. Sometimes we have to do like contemporary stuff. Sometimes was hip hop. So I was like, yeah, hip hop. But yeah, so it was really like I touched many kind of dance without to be like super professional in each.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was
just
like getting a little bit
just
of everything, exploring.
Yeah, I was just exploring. So I get some contracts because at one point, like I was like, one of my friends in New Caledonia told me like, you know what, you should work in that, man, because like you're dancing well. Everyone in New Caledonia call you like, oh, you're the dancer. They don't know your name, but they know like you're the dancer. I'm like, yeah, you're right. So I was like, okay, let's try to work on that. But New Caledonia too small. It's like I feel like too small for me. Like it was too hard to find like good money and good community. So I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe it's not for me here.
So then the whole move to Canada,
Yeah.
it was kind of opening you new opportunities to, I mean, finish your studies, not to break up with your girlfriend.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the plan. It wasn't the plan.
Yeah, and then also to learn more about the dancing.
Yeah, because I remember like my ex-girlfriend was a dancer too. And when we moved together, she told me like, oh, you know what, there is salsa, bachata, I just learned, I feel like it's super cool, we should dance it together. And I'm like, okay, let's try. So when we moved in Canada, like she find like this cool Saint Tropez, and she told me like, oh, we're gonna get classes here. And I'm like, okay, I'm following you. And it started like that, to be honest. Like I started to learn salsa, bachata because of her. So yeah.
Okay, so and then when you moved to Canada, you started those classes, and then it was like a, did you have, so let's, before we move to the classes, when you moved to Canada, did you have any hustles? I mean, you moved to a new country. Which age were you when you moved, by the way?
I come here at 24.
Okay, so I mean, still relatively young. Like it all depends,
like,
yeah, at which age
even
you moved.
in New Caledonia, I was still like living with my mom, even if I had to pay like to pay like the rent, etc., etc. But like, it's something new. Like when you just fly by your own and you're like, okay, mommy is not here anymore, so let's go. So yeah, no, it was like a first experience at the beginning. I was a bit scared, but like because I was with my ex-girlfriend, I was like more like, okay, I'm not completely alone.
Alone, okay.
But yeah, the first challenge, I would say like it was the year before to come, because like all the administration was like so long, so complicated, and it's like I get some information in New Caledonia, and when I came here in Canada, they told me like no, like for example like they forced me like to do like a credit at the bank like for $4,000 on or any case I'm not gonna be able to come. I was like, oh, okay, so I have to go to the bank, I have to do like every all the paper to get like $4,000, and I was like, okay. And when I came here, they told me like, no, it's just like you have to show us you can live for 1 year here. So like 10,000 was good. I was like, what? Okay, so thanks for that. But that was the first challenge. Like the process to come here to Canada, it was like a bit hard. When we arrived, I will say like the integration was pretty good because we already get some friend who was here already for the same process, so it was easy like to come to the party like, hey, we saw like other Caledonians, so we were like, oh, we're not alone. There was like
Okay, so you were not.
yeah, we were like a little community of Caledonians. We were like, oh, we remember like the sun, the sand and everything, and we're like now it's snow and cloud and like a bit of sun sometimes, but yeah, no, it was pretty good at the beginning. I will say it was hard like when I trying to make like new friend, like a Canadian friend. At the beginning I felt it was like a bit hard.
Why?
For example, like when we went to the university, I get like in my country I get used to like invite people to work at my place, and like like we chill with a little beer or stuff like that. And I felt like sometime when we have a team group to work like on a project in a class, and I told them, oh guys, so do you want to go to my place or we go to your place? We do it like chill with a little beer or like Coke or coffee, whatever you want. And everyone was more like, no, we have to go like in a formal class, because like I felt like they didn't want to get like too much into me, and they didn't want to let me go too much in them.
In their team.
Yeah, and I was like, each time I felt like, okay, like we speak each other, but like there is still like a window, a wall like that. We're like, okay, you cannot cross that until I'm gonna let you go in. In my country, it wasn't that. It was like, okay, come to my place, even if you don't know, like, okay, I'm just gonna come, we're gonna sit, we're gonna enjoy, that's it. So this thing was a bit like different for me at beginning, and I realized like, okay, maybe I'm not gonna make new friends that easy.
No, that fast.
Yeah. I was like, okay, so I'm just gonna wait a bit, but like that became like small of a step by step. Like I start to get like some friends, but like for example, like at the end of my baccalaureate, I'm not gonna be able to say like I have like a real friend from the school. I get more friends like in dance, for example. Dance community was easier for me to connect for sure. But like for example, like at school, it was like just like, okay, we do shit, and after bye. And I was like, okay, see you then.
And then language-wise, I know that you speak French fluently, so you didn't.
It's true. Yeah, that's one another reason. Like I decided to come to Canada compared like another country. It was because my English wasn't really well, to be honest, and it's still like not perfect. I still work on it. But like in New Caledonia, we learn English, but we don't practice English. So like,
and then the main language was French?
Yeah, it was French. Yeah, in
so
New
your mother
Caledonia,
tongue is
yeah,
French,
in New Caledonia we speak French, and that's it. Like English is a school, and you not speak English outside of the school. So I was a bit afraid about like going in a full English country and be like, hello, my name is, I was like, no, I need to get like a nice transition. So Canada was a good transition for that, like French and English, and it was close to the States because like at this moment, and like I really wanted to see the States. I was like, I want to see New York, I want to see Las Vegas, I want to see like all these big cities. So I said like, okay, Canada, it's a good thing, like just to practice my English a bit, still be able to speak in French and like travel around the world. So yeah.
Cool. So and then you came, and then what is this whole evolution? Because I remember when I met you first, you were teaching you were just like a teacher, salsa bachata teacher in dance studio. The evolution from starting to learn salsa bachata just together with your girlfriend for fun to becoming a professional dancer in salsa bachata, competing, having your own studio. This whole evolution, how long it took you?
It took me like I start to learn like let's say in 2015 too, like maybe like 2-3 months after we arrived, and I started to teach in 2016 in July. But it was pretty fast, to be honest, because as I told you, like normally like I was coming back, but like I didn't expect it to work in dance anymore. It was just like do my studies, find like a...
okay, so it was not like, like I want to become it. It was not in your plan.
It wasn't my plan. My plan was just like, okay, dance gonna be a hobby for me now. And I'm just gonna find like a regular job, and I'm gonna do like everyone do. And the school, like we start to learn salsa and bachata. I start to learn like pretty fast, like during 6 months, like I start to get like in a high level, and even in high level I was like, that's easy. So they were like, okay, this guy is not that bad. So they come to me and they ask me like, oh, you know what, we're looking for like a salsa teacher, like men's salsa teacher.
It was in Latin group still?
No, it was Saint-Tropez.
Saint-Tropez, okay, the initial one.
Yeah. So they told me like, oh, we're looking for a teacher, like are you interested by? And I'm like, I remember myself like before to go to Canada, I was like, oh, you know what, I'm never gonna work again in dance, like, and now I just have this proposition where I like that, and I'm like, okay, let's try it last time then, and I try it. Like they give me like 2 months of formation, something like that. Like, it was pretty like short formation, and for me like the most scary thing in that, it was like you have to give the class in English, and I was like, no, please, no, not in English. Like in French is good. I make joke in French. In English, like people laugh at me, not with me, you know. So they were like, no worries, you're gonna practice, and I was like, okay. So we start like that, and I will say like, so to become like a teacher, like that took me 6 months, but to become
That's
like
fast.
That was pretty fast. But to be honest, like I was like dancing like more than 10 hours per day, per week. Excuse me.
Oh, well, like I had a question. Like, how many hours did you dedicate to
as soon I start, like, because that's the thing. Like, we start with my girlfriend, but like, let's say 1-2 months after we start together, we broke up. So I was like completely alone now, and I was like, okay, now I have no friends. I don't have any more around me. So I was, you know what? I'm gonna learn salsa bachata like nobody learned it, and I was like, okay, and I do it like every day, and I was going like on every social I was able to go. So people saw me like from here to there, and like I remember like each time I'm going out, there were always people who told me like, bro, you're not the same dancer than last time I saw you, because I was practicing like even alone, like without a partner. A lot of people tell me like, I don't have partner to practice and get better. I'm like, don't need, just need to imagine your partner, dance, imagine your combo in your head, listen your music, understand your musicality. So yeah, I become teacher really fast. And I remember like a lot of people who was already advanced before I come in the school, after I was teaching them, and they were looking at me like, it's been 4 years I'm here and now you're my teacher. And I was like, you know, practice, that's it. So yeah, that takes time, but that normally that take more time than 6 months for sure, but like depend like the implication you put into it. That's it. But I will say like I became like a teacher, but I didn't become like the real teacher I wanted to be, because
what does it mean? Hold on.
Yeah.
What does it mean, the real teacher I wanted to be?
Because, for example, like I was able to teach classes for amateur, or for amateur actually. But as soon as I did like my first competition with one of my students, I was watching the other pro, and I was like, I'm not like those guys. I'm not dancing like them. And I saw like they were speaking about technique I never hear before, and I was like, why I never hear that before? And I realized like it's not become I get 2 months of formation from Saint-Tropez. That means like I can say like, okay, I'm the top of the top.
Okay.
And when I do something, I don't want to be first necessarily, but I want to be like good, you know. I don't want to be like a guy who's like, yeah, he's
the
calm.
best version of yourself.
Yeah, I don't want to be like a scam, you know. I want to be a guy like, okay, no, you go to see this guy, he's gonna give you good stuff, good technique. I don't want to be the guy who like, yeah, if you want to learn how to walk, go to see this guy. So that's why like I realized after 3 years, like, okay, I'm a dance teacher, but I'm not the kind of teacher you want to like, wow, this teacher is crazy. So I was like, I want to become this teacher. So that took me like after this realization, I was like, okay, I need to get formation from outside to this school. I need like to travel. I need to see like bigger people than me. And that took me like, I will say like, yeah, 3 years to become like really good. Like I start
to the next level.
Yeah. So for me, like I say, like I start to become like a real teacher after 3 years. Like I get the title in 6 months, but I became a real teacher in 3 years. Like learn everything, all the technique, like, and start to know like, oh, this instrument on this music, oh, okay, I understand that. And I just start to understand way much better like the way to dance salsa, bachata, or any kind of Latin dance, compared to just go like, okay, one step here, good, you know,
basic.
to dance. Yeah. But basic is still important too, but it's like the way to understand the technique in a basic, the way to move your body, compared like at the school, like they just show me like, okay, how to step. Okay, it's good. What I'm doing with my hips, what I'm doing with my chest, what I'm doing with my hand. So that's what I was like. And sometimes there is customer will ask you a question and you're like, don't know. Man, that's a good question. So that's why like sometimes that happened. Like students ask me question and I was like, wait a bit. So now it's become like way much better. Like each time we ask me a question, I have the answer and I can like, and I can look professional more, you know.
And then so, before I hop into the next question, the studio was after you went to the multiple competitions?
Yeah.
Or in between?
Yeah, because like I start competition for my students, and after I start competition for me, because like when you go to compete like with the students, you do like, let's say pro amateur. So I'm the pro, she's the am. It's only the amateur who get judged.
Yeah,
I'm here,
exactly.
I'm just like her tool, and I'm here like to make her shine, to make her look good. But like the title, go for her. So that's a good thing.
Okay, so you first, you didn't compete for yourself, let's say with your because you compete with your partner, right?
Yeah, but like way much after. Like
yeah, because I mean, I follow you on Instagram, and like I saw, so look, you were competing with your students first.
Yeah, during like the first 3 years of, I considered my formation, it was only competing for my students.
Okay.
Like make them looking good, try to make them win, try to understand like how, what the judge want to see on my students. Maybe like I'm gonna understand better like what they want to see in me after in a pro category, because that's the difference. And that's why, because I wanted to do like competition for me too, but like when I realized like the level of the other, I was like, I'm not at this level. If I go in competitions, they're gonna like hit me like nothing.
But do they have different levels?
Yeah,
like in ballroom, they have, I don't know, bronze, silver, gold? Is it the same?
You have like different level like in Latin dance too. You have like let's say the amateur, you have the rising star, and you have like the pro. Rising star is like the entrance of pro. Like,
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I wanted to compete at least in rising star and pro, and like to get in that level. Like I didn't want it to go and look like not stupid, but like look like is not at this good spot, you know. So that's why like 3 years of like dancing with my students, make them shine, start to understand better, and actually it was hard for me like to compete as pro too because like I didn't have my partner yet. So I was alone like just teaching, and I meet Sabrina like few years after. So when I meet her, and I was like, okay, now we can start to do something.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, because I saw also the competition, and it's, I mean, I go a lot to the ballroom competition, but I saw you were posting some videos from the competition for salsa, bachata. You do also a lot of different lifts and acrobatic movements, so it's not like it. And like I saw how Sabrina is, I don't know how many times she was doing that spin on her feet, like 20, 30, 50. I'm like, oh wait a minute, like I have already, like my head is spinning. So you do all those complicated things and the lifts, and you do that as well with your students, not only with her, right? So is it an obligatory requirement from the competition to add those elements, or is just your own, Ralph, I want to add a bit of like spiciness to the dance?
That depends on the competition. There is some competition who's like it's not necessary to do it, but there is some competition who's like try to make categories. I mean, like you're gonna have the cabaret categories, like here you're allowed to do lift and tricks. You have the classic one. Here your feet have to stay on the floor, always, so you cannot like lift your partner. You can jump if you want, but you cannot lift your partner. For the turn tornado, it's just like you want to show more capacity, more ability, so it's not necessary. Like it's not because like she did turn and she didn't turn, they win, they not win. It's just about like you want to show more like competencies, like more like, you know, look what I can do. Maybe like the people not gonna be able to do what I do, you know. So for sure, lift for me was important to learn that because I find like it's super cool like to be able to lift your partner and to look a bit acrobatic. That's always cool, like to put power move on your dance. I feel it's just like as a pro for us, like it's a bit like in cabaret division, it's necessary. Even in classic, we're gonna do like we're not gonna do lift, but we're gonna do tricks. Tricks is like a power move, but with feet on the floor. Yeah,
I saw when the partner like turns with almost like a split on the floor. I saw a couple of times that
so
one.
You still try to show power move, but without lifting the floor, without lifting your feet from the floor. So it's not necessary. Like there is people who just like they don't like lift and they just go for classic. There is people like they don't necessarily like classic. They want to go cabaret. So that's right. But some competition, like you can find like a classic couple who compete against like a cabaret couple because like there is no division. That's right. So there is some competition who's like a bit smaller and they don't have enough people to make like
categories.
Categories. So it's like, okay, put everyone in the same category and we're gonna judge like.
But then then that's interesting. So when the judges, they judge and it's, let's say, this mixed competition. If one couple does, let's say, a lift or fancy moves and the other couple goes classic, they will still judge purely on the technicality, musicality, and like all that kind of stuff, right? So they will not be...
They're always gonna have like the same criteria. So it's not because like you see a lift, they're gonna be like, oh, plus because they did one lift. No, it's just gonna, they're gonna judge the technique of the lift. So let's say I'm not doing lift, I'm just dancing. They're gonna judge the technique of my dance. If I'm doing dance and lift, they're gonna judge the technique of my dance and the technique of my lift too. So that's why sometimes people gonna say like, okay, don't play too much with fire because you're gonna get burned. It's because you can do lift. If you do a lift and it's look hard, you're gonna lose point.
Oh, I was just about to ask. So if you messed up the lift,
you lose point.
You lose.
Yeah, you lose point.
Ouch.
Because you lose point in technique. So that's why how they judge it. For sure, sometimes they prefer to see like, okay, cabaret with cabaret, classic with classic. Sense. It's always like a bit easier, let's say, because the crowd react more to like power move than just dance, but judge prefer to see like a dance show than a circus show. You know, So that's why they always say like careful with lift, like put it to be like a bit more powerful, but we don't want to see Cirque du Soleil. Like we want to see salsa, bachata. Yeah.
And then so if a person, amateur, right, wants to compete, I don't know, let's say how on average the person needs to put the time behind to get to a decent level of dancing.
A decent level? To be honest, that depends a lot from like the experience they have. I get people who were dancing since a young age and they start to do like a competition, so that can take like to create a choreography. For me, I say like that take like, let's say 4 months to create the choreography, and the rest of the year you perform, you compete, you do whatever.
So you do like a one set of choreography for like 2-3 minutes? How long?
Yeah, 2 minutes max.
2 minutes max, right? Yeah. And then it's repeating.
Yeah, we create it together. I just try to create like for her, just try to make her looking good, and I select some movement to make her looking good. After that, like once the choreography is done, we have to practice like the show. So that means like we run the show like in a small place at the beginning to get ready for the big event or the big competition.
So for the person to get used to the crowd, to performing in front of the others, that kind of stuff. So that's smart.
Yeah, for sure. Like it's like a repetition of like a comedy show, for example. Like they always like run the show before to go, you know, like they always try some stuff. Same thing for us. Like we go try some stuff, which is the reaction of the public. If we have like a, we are like, okay, we keep it. If we have like a nothing, we are like, maybe we should working more. So yeah, but that's a process for a choreography. Now let's say if we speak about like the process for just learn and be able to dance in social. That depends on like the way you practice at home. Like I saw people who start like from zero, like me. Like when I start, like I didn't know how to dance salsa bachata, and like 4 months after, you're like, wow. And I saw people who dance from 10 years, and they are the same level. That's it.
So a bit provocative question. As a teacher, do you think that there are no non-coachable people when it comes to dancing? Because I have my own opinion on that, but
I'm not gonna say not uncoachable. I will say like they're always gonna learn something. It's just they're not gonna be consistent about like the way to use it. For example, I have a student who's like a bit older than the other. She get close to 60, and she learned well. She learned well. Like when I explain her technique, she's able to do it like now in front of me, and I'm like, good. Now we put the music, we try, disappear, because she focused on something else, on the timing of the music, and I have to do a hand here, so she forget to do like the technique we were practicing before. And I'm like, sometimes it's just a problem of focus. They can learn everything. It's just like the time, the way to apply it and to stay focused on some detail. Let's say like now if you don't have leg, I cannot do anything for you, for sure. But I think like everyone can be coached, for sure. Like we're not stupid. We can be able to do that.
To be on the rhythm?
Yeah, at least, yeah.
Opening your own dance school, right? Like, if I may say so. When was it like a logical continuation, evolution of you as a teacher? Because I met you were teaching at Latin Group, right? And you had regular classes there, and then boom, like 3 years later we meet and you already own your own dance school.
It's just because at one point, when your passion starts to become your profession, I feel sometimes it starts to kill your passion, you know? Like when you start to get like money and you have like, okay, you have like, let's say 30 hours of dance class, then 30 hours of group classes in a week, you always show the same thing, so it starts to be a bit like boring to dance. And I felt like, you know what, you decide to do that because you work for a school, and the goal of the school is to do that. It's like to do like listen, and you just repeat the same thing over the year. Like when the cycle is finished, you restart the same cycle. So I'm like, okay, you know what, I should like leave the school to do like what I want to do. What I wanted to do is like a competition, choreographic stuff. I wanted to like to become a better choreograph. So I like to become a better choreograph, I have to do choreography. And I know like there is a lot of people who ask me like, oh, I want to do a choreography with you, but I was too busy with group classes at school. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go by my own, I'm gonna do my own price, I'm gonna do my own schedule, and I'm gonna decide the project I want to do it. And I was okay, let's go, let's do that. So it started like that, and I had Sabrina at this moment with me, so I wasn't alone too. So I was like,
it's easier
okay.
when it's
and
two of
I
you.
explained it to her like what I wanted to do, and she was like, yeah, for sure, I'm following you. I think like this is the thing we have to do right now, because I did like 3 years at Saint Tropez as a teacher, then another 3 years at Atlantic Group. So it's been like 6 years like we were like teaching group classes. I already started like my competition with my partner, so we were a bit more like in the mood of like, okay, our competition, our level now. So yeah, for us it was like normal, like just to live and do our own stuff, and a lot of people were like happy to see that. And now we have like a team. We have a team of amateur who, by the way, just won like a competition like few weeks ago. Yeah, I was like, yeah.
Was it like a group? Because you also have, it's like a group dances when you have a couple, like 5 or 6 couples that are dancing synchronized in a synchronized way.
Exactly.
So that was the competition that you won.
It was a competition.
Well, I mean, you won a lot of competition. That was not the only one.
But this one was the most recently for them. So and actually that was the last competition for them. So I'm happy like it finished with a good note, and I'm like, yeah, super proud of you guys.
How? That's another thing that also like I find it's insane. It's this whole synchronized dancing of like sometimes you and your partner can't synchronize on the music, but then to get to that level of synchronization of like 5 couples dancing at the same time, not to bump into each other, because you also need, I guess, to move, because when you do the choreography it's all the different levels and that kind of stuff. So that's another thing that you do, that you started doing that when you opened your own school, right? It's how long also it takes, like how does the choreography, how you come with the idea of that?
Yeah, we started because like at Latin Group we were doing like a lot of group classes, but we had some customer who wanted to do like choreographic with us. So like I get like duos, and we had like the director of the school who asked us to do a team with the student of the school. So we had like a team already over there. So this is how we get like the first experience of like manage amateur in a team, and like manage like students like in a choreographic competition. And let's say if I just come back a bit before at Saint Tropez, I was doing only freestyle competition with my students. So it was only like put a song, dance freestyle, like a social, and Latin group. I start to get my first customer like as a choreographic. So now it was like a new challenge for me. Like, okay, now it's not just about the social, it's about like the choreo. You have like to paint something, and he has to look good at the end. So we start to do like maybe 2-3 projects in duo. That was working pretty well. And then now she asked us to do like, okay, do a team now with your partner Sabrina. We're like, okay, let's do a team. We did like 2-3 teams at the same school, and we saw like people were like super enjoying our team. We get like more and more and more people. So we were like, okay, super cool. So at this moment, like we decide like to leave, and when we start to do like our own project, we already have like some students who get like used to do choreographic with us.
So you had a bit of the people who followed you.
They follow us, and actually even some people who already saw us, like new people, so they come like, oh, I hear like you left this school to do your own thing. I want to be part of that, and I'm like, come, always. So it started like that. That took like, let's say, I will say like a year and a half to start to get like what we are now. Like now we have a name. Before like people ask like, what is the name of your company? Raphaël and Sabrina. That's it.
Even me, that's why I asked you before, what's the name of the studio? Because I thought it was Raphaël and Sabrina.
Yeah, because at the beginning like we were studying and we didn't know like if we were good alone, like without the school, or if it's gonna be like for a year or more than a year. So we were just trying, like, you know what, just come. We don't have name, we don't have like a localization, but like come and we're gonna see how it's going.
So you don't have a fixed place, right?
Yeah.
It's always you.
Yeah, I'm a nomad teacher. I'm moving from room to room, and I just rent in different places. But you know what, I feel sometimes it's better when you start, because it's less stress about like you have to pay like the rent at the end of the month. I feel it's easier for students sometimes, because like you can move closer to them, so they like it sometimes. Compared like you live at 2 hours of my studio, and I'm like, you have to come, it's 2 hours of driving. So yeah, I feel like for the moment it's a good thing, but we start to feel now we have more and more people who want. So, and we have hard time to find like a free studio. So now we start to think about like maybe we should look around like for a little space, like just to be able to do like our private, our project, our team project, etc. Yeah.
Because so when you right now the current model is that you have to find a new space, let's say every time.
We try to book by month when we can. So we call the studio. We say like, okay, we need like this day from this hour to this hour during all the month, this day, etc. etc. So we try to book in advance. For sure, sometimes it's okay for the studio because like when you are a big group, they are like, yeah, for sure. When you are just like 2-3 people and you are like, okay, I want to take like your 7 to 8 with like the hour where they are packed, they are like, no, you cannot reserve 1 month ago. You have to reserve like the week. So I'm like, okay. So it's just like another administration you have to do. Like let's say for group classes, like for team, it's okay because we plan it a month before. But like when it's like, for example, if you take a private with me, I have to check like every week, like to make sure, okay,
the space, is it available or not available?
But just that was a bit like a bit hard sometimes. And like let's say, like, this studio don't have a space. Okay, this studio, no, this studio, yeah, okay. But after this private, I have another private here, and I have another private here, and I have to come back here, and I'm like, sometimes you just like rerun a lot, but for the money that. And since that situation, realized now we're like, maybe we need to take a studio for us, but like. No pressure again, like for the moment, like we are able to manage like the thing. We always find a solution. It's just sometimes like we have to run a lot. Like
how is it? And like, is it anyhow influencing the passion? Because now technically you need also to wear multiple hats, right? Like you're a dancer and then you're a choreographer and then like you need to think about this and that and the studios, another like a business acumen, right? Like how is it? And does it anyhow influence the passion? You know, like I'm not saying killing the passion, but you can get overwhelmed because that's a lot.
To be honest, like what was killing my passion at the beginning, it was doing the same thing always. And for example, like I like to do group classes, like I like to do workshop. I love that, but it's just like when it's like on a years and you have to do always like you have, let's say it's like you have a job from 9 to 5 but you're doing dance and you always do the same thing that was killing my passion. Now I have different like hat, as you say, and I like it because when I go in my class, this is never the same thing. Like one time I'm a coach, so they dance in front of me and I'm like restart, this one, another time I'm a dancer in the project with my students, so I'm like dancing with her, so I have the feeling of dancing with my student. I'm like, oh, we should do that. So now I'm like choreograph and dancer, you see. Sometime I will say like it's my I have like choreograph, coach, and group classes. Like what I like is now is we have punctual group classes.
What is it?
People who calling us, like people who do like a social party and they like to do like a class before the social party. They're calling like me and Sabrina to say like, oh, we would like a workshop before the party, just like to invite people to learn a bit how to do it on the dance floor just after. I love that because like we always show something new. It's not like too much repetitive, and that's it. Like even if we do like a group classes session, like it's not more than 6 weeks. 6 weeks about like, okay, you start from 0 and at the end you're gonna be a beginner, or you start from beginner at the end you're gonna be intermediate, or etc. But yeah, no, for the moment like I feel is really not killing my passion, since like I have many hats, to be honest, and I like that.
If you had a chance to do something differently back then, I don't know, you're that kid in Caledonia, would there be anything different that you would have done, or your life went exactly that path, that perfect path?
The only thing I regret is like to start too late.
Like you mean like 12 years it's late, or
no,
like what
24.
you're doing now? Okay.
24, because starting at 12 years until my 24 wasn't a bad thing. It's just like it was in my head, like dance was just a hobby. It was just like to go in club, and it was my passion. And you know, it's like the guy would like to go to the gym. Me, I like to go to do breakdance with my friend. So it started like that, and after that, excuse me, what was the question again? Like,
would you have done anything differently?
I would like, for example, like to be able to start salsa and bachata at 12 years old, and become what I'm now, what I am right now. You know, like if I get like, let's say, again, more experience than that, because for example, I have friends who start like at 12 years old, and they are now like multiple world champion, like they travel around the world because they are like legend from years and years and years. So for me, sometimes, like especially when I start and I realize in Canada compared to New Caledonia, I have my chance. I can do something like bigger than just like try, you know. So when I realized that, I was like, shit, man, I have to run, because like I saw the other pro in Montreal who was like already like far from me, and I was like, I want to be with them, so I have to run. And now I'm almost with them. To be, they're gonna say like, you are with us now, but I'm like, not yet, because like they're starting like decade before me. So for sure, if I can do something new, if something else, it will be like start from a younger age. Yeah.
And then the last question, which is actually a very logical continuation from what we're just discussing. What's next for Raphaël?
The next, for the moment, like me and my partner, we try to, for sure, like to develop the school, like RS.
So that's the name, right? We never say like RS.
RS.
That's the dance studio, like if anybody wants.
Yeah, like the verb in Spanish, like RS, but like the reference is like R for Raphaël, S for Sabrina, and in Spanish it's like RS, so it looks like RS. So that and that's a nice thing, because like that means be in Spanish.
Yep.
So that means like you
exist.
You exist with us, you know.
Yeah.
So that's fun. But the next thing for us is like keep going to make that grow, because like we have a lot of people and it's getting bigger and bigger day by day, so it's cool. But our finally goal will be like to become an international artist. That already happened one time, like we already get invited like in New Caledonia, in my country, so we travel the world.
Oh,
they invite us like to give like a workshop, a show during a full congress of 1 week. So it was like, you know, let's say like when you start to get like invite like around the world, that's a good accomplishment for an artist. I mean, like people see you through the sea, like even if you are far, you are able to say like, oh, this guy, I want him in my congress. I want him to come to fly to my city and to show to my community how good is it. And I'm like, this is like the finality we want. It's not super easy, and that depends. Like you can be like the best dancer of the world, doesn't mean you're gonna be the best artist international, because that has so many things. Like you have to be good in social media, you have to be good like in dance, you have to be good in choreography, you have to be good like to speak with everyone, because sometimes like a lot of people speak Spanish here and I don't speak super well Spanish. So sometimes like people like I see, they want to speak to me and I'm like, and they are like, good dancer, and I'm like, thanks. Maybe next time we're gonna have more conversation, but like, yeah, the finality for us is like that, just like make the school growing up and like try to travel around the world by dancing. Any
additional dance styles you want to add? I know hip hop,
maybe
break dance.
You know what? I start to come back in hip hop a bit more, because like I have one friend like we just won a Revolution like.
The show.
His name is Samuel, and he's really good at breakdance, and I told him like, bro, you know what? I think I want to come back in breakdance a bit. I'll be like, come. So I'm like, okay. So I restart breakdance a bit. And in a partner dance, I have like a West Coast swing. I'm like, maybe
so
not.
Like adding more, and it's an opportunity to grow for the school as well.
And I'm like, why not West Coast swing? Because like when I see them dancing, I'm like, they look good, and it look fun, and it look like super talent. So I'm like, you know what? That's it.
Well, I have no doubt you'll get where you want. You have a very determined vision, and like you know clearly what you want. Usually, those people go far.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for the conversation. It was cool for me also to learn more about you, and it was a very inspiring conversation. Guys, I hope you really enjoyed the conversation as much as I did. And if ever you want to learn how to dance salsa bachata, the dance school is called Eris. So you're welcome. You will enjoy and you will learn a lot, I can guarantee. See you at the next episode.